Hey everybody, I'm Meredith Baker for On the Map Off the Radar, and we have a very special topic today. We're with Catherine Njeri, who is the teacher coordinator for the Africa Yoga Project, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the Africa Yoga Project and the changes she's seen in the communities around Kenya in which it operates. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so lucky to have caught you before your whirlwind of classes and traveling back to Kenya.
Okay.
And could you tell us a little bit about the Africa Yoga Project and how it was started?
So Africa Yoga Project is a non-profit organization based in Nairobi. Well, we are expanding in Africa, and it was started in 2009. So the co-founder, we have two founders, so Baron Baptist and Paige Ellenson. And Paige Ellenson was in a trip to Kenya. She came back and did a volunteer job into a circus school that Sarakasi Trust has worked with, and while she was there was a huge post-election violence where everybody was like fighting everyone. And the government did build a small camps for people who are displaced from their homes because of the war. And with the circus school and Paige, she came up with a circus that was called Amani. Amani means peace, a circus, and we could go and perform into the school, into the camps. And me as an entertainer, all I could do was to entertain, and the people would sit down and watch me entertaining. But as when Paige came in with yoga, you could see everybody was participating. And then there was no more like a grouping of tribes and this group and this group, like everybody came in a circle. We were touching people's hand on a mountain pose. So when Paige said she was coming back to Kenya with a teacher to teach yoga, I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be part of that, like where I can be of service to my community without just entertaining and making them happy, but they can be involved in whatever I was doing. Right,
that it's a kind of shared experience between everybody.
Yeah.
And so can you talk a little bit about your personal journey into getting your yoga teacher training and where it's taken you since then?
So I'll start by telling my story before yoga. So I grew up in Kariobangi. It's next to the second biggest slum in Nairobi, and I was surrounded by so much crime and so much poverty. Like I went to bed a lot of nights with no food, and my mom was an alcoholic. And so me being the eldest child, I was left to take care of my sisters and my brother. And it was hard, it wasn't easy. I had no job, I was in school. And I could make people's hair, so I'm a hairdresser, over the weekend, but that wasn't enough to feed my kids. So I ended up working in a, what do you call it, like a marijuana place. It's illegal in Kenya, so we had to hide to make the marijuana. And that's how I was getting my cash. But I was always on the hiding, or I was hanging around with the wrong people. Right. So I had no hope for the future. Like I had no idea what my future looked like. And then when I joined acrobatics, I was like, yeah, I was doing acrobatics to make legal money and basic money, but then I wasn't able to change my friends or anything. All I did was entertain. And when I started doing yoga, like my first yoga class that I did, I felt it, first of all, I felt it in my body, my physical body, and I noticed the shift, especially on my thinking. Like the shift was there, like, oh my God, there's hope to life. Even knowing like there's a hope for me to do the next pose, though I knew there was a hope for me in life. And then I was like, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
And then I did the teacher training and came back in Nairobi, and I taught my first yoga class to my mom and her friends, because no one knew what yoga was in Kenya, in Nairobi that time. So it was hard to bring people to my class, like get 1 hour of people, like tell women don't do your dishes, tell men don't go hustle, come out to my class and do yoga, and there's no money. So it was hard. So I convinced my mom somehow and her friends, and they came, and they went back so happy that I ended up having a full class of women.
Wow.
And younger mothers. And one of the things that one woman told me, or most of them told me, that I'll never forget, it's how much their concentration improved after doing yoga. That's why they kept coming back, because as a woman, you're watching your kids, you're doing the dishes, you're doing the laundry, you're cooking, and then you maybe have a small business outside you're selling, and all those things you're supposed to do. And they said their concentration was so much improved by just coming to the class.
And now it started a movement, you said, thousands of people get free yoga each week in Nairobi.
Yeah, so we started with less than 50 teachers. It was around 42. And now we have over 100 yoga teachers teaching over 300 classes a week. We're almost to 400, so we wish we get to 400 classes a week. And we're reaching over 7,000 people a week with 3 yoga classes. So we're teaching in all, like all slums in Nairobi, so Kibera, Korokocho, youth groups, groups with people with HIV. We're doing in prisons. We're doing yoga for kids. So we call them kids yoga in prison, but if their mom are in prison, they're allowed to stay with kids, and we're teaching yoga to those kids.
Wow, and you said it's operating in other countries in Africa as well.
Yeah, we are in around 10 other countries in Africa, so we're expanding to be Africa, to move out of just Kenya into Africa.
Make it a global movement.
Yeah, make it a global
cross-continental movement. And can you explain a little bit of the structure of how the Africa Yoga Project works?
So being a non-profit, we mostly depend on donors and sponsors, and we have like how people can get involved and how people can support Africa Yoga Project. We have safaris, Seva means service, that we do in Kenya. So you have a group of people from mostly States, Canada and Europe come to Kenya and do a service project to the communities we teach. So like the last project we did that just ended like on Saturday or Sunday was this group of people came to Kenya and they went into a school that is a deaf school. They had no fence and no bathroom, like one bathroom, and the windows and doors were broken. They had no good windows, and they went and replaced all the windows, all the doors, and built like a security fence. Now the teachers won't be worried about kids sneaking out or straying to the road. They say they're safe, and they have 2 more bathrooms.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible work. And you were saying as well that if you were from the States or Europe and you wanted to get a yoga certification, you paid to come do it in Kenya, and then your entry fee, I guess, helps cover a student from Africa who applies and gets trained as well.
Yeah, how we manage to train the youth all over Africa, so we give them scholarship, because definitely we're targeting the youths who are unemployed to make them employable. Not only like Africa Yoga Project employs me, it may be employable. I'm teaching yoga at the UN gym. Like that's big deal. So and how we can manage to train these people is getting people from other countries and continent, and we have people from Nairobi who also are supporting this. So we also have people from Nairobi who can pay, come to the program, to the teacher training that we're doing next year in April. And then that way, if you get 30 people who are paying, we're able to sponsor 30 other African people, youth that cannot afford to pay for the training.
And then they go back to their communities and lead the classes.
Yeah, and if you get a scholarship, you come to Africa Yoga Project and get scholarship, you have to go back to your community and teach free yoga classes.
That's a great system. And what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in some of the communities that you operate in Nairobi?
I'll say acceptance, first of all, of the situation, instead of being so much of a victim, into accepting the situation and moving forward from there. And I've seen also there's so much hope. And with the kids, we did a survey with kids and adults we teach, and #1 response was like, there's so much discipline and so much patience. Like the discipline was so much improved. And we work with football team, and go like they're able to control their anger, especially on the pitch, because football, and I mean soccer,
can be a violent sport.
It is a violence. Soccer, and after if we lose, we fight, and they say like this. So much less violence in the field. Like one teacher goes like, we no longer fight when we lose. We go like, we calm down and do this and do that. It's amazing.
Wow, that's incredible. And so the main ways for people to get involved, you would say, would be either by donating, coming on a service safari, or are there other ways as well?
Yeah, there's other ways to come. So you can come to a service trip, you can donate, or if you're a yoga teacher out there, you can do a fundraising classes into yoga studio, and also most importantly, you can mentor. So after training these youths, they need a mentor, and you don't have to be a yoga teacher to be a mentor, and you can mentor a youth in Africa, and it's 1 year commitment with a fee, like you help to pay for their salary. That's how we manage. Like that. That's
you
how
get to develop a really personal relationship and watch them grow as a yoga instructor and community leader.
Yeah, you talk to them once a month through Skype.
That sounds incredible. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and also for sharing the Africa Yoga Project's important mission with On the Map Off the Radar. Thank you guys so much for watching, or asante sana.
Karibu.
And we'll provide more information on the link below the video. Bye.
Bye.